Let's go watch it in 2D. No, let's go watch it in 3D. But if we watch it in 3D, then is it worth the cost?
Mr. Aladdin, yes, one wish or two or three. Never had a friend like, and the crowd goes wild. Disney's Aladdin.
Hello. This is Adolf Vega, and I have Miss Krista. And today we're reviewing Aladdin 2019. As always, we'll talk about the 3D element first. So Krista wrote the review, so I'll let you go ahead and go first. Krista, what'd you think of the 3D for Aladdin?
I actually liked the 3D quite a lot. I don't know. I saw it in IMAX, so it might be a credit to IMAX that the 3D was so good. But I also like the movie is just like so visually stunning. There's so many like environments and costume design that really, and also there's like some CG magic type effects that all lend to the visual style of the movie. And overall, I really liked the 3D. There was a lot of depth and a lot of camera movement, and I especially liked the flying sequences with the flying carpet.
Now, there's like little things to the 3D that I really noticed, like Jafar's snake staff. It really popped out and it looked really good. Like you really get a good contour of how it's supposed to look, and you get some little things of sand, little magical fairy dust pop out here and there, and the scene in the cave is really, really good. So in my viewing of it, it seemed like the screen was a little bit dirty and a little bit dark. So I do worry that some screenings may have darkness to it. And maybe I actually complained to my theater, which I will not say the chain or the location, but I did complain that the 3D was off. So I kind of think my 3D was not up to par, and IMAX is obviously usually the best way of watching things anyway. So I would give it a good, but maybe my theater was not 100% right. So I'm gonna trust your judgment on how 3D looks.
It's hard to tell how much is due to the movie and how much is due to the theater sometimes.
Yeah, it's very true. Sometimes the theaters may have an off day or something. Mine looked dirty, like they haven't cleaned up, or like they didn't wipe down the bulb or something, and it just looked a little bit off. But I think for the most part it looks fine. So I think you'll have a good time watching this in 3D.
I had some issues with like divergence and my eyes hurting, but that's definitely more due to the way IMAX displays films than to the film itself. But I did have issue with divergence.
So what grading would you give it? What rating would you give the 3D aspect?
I think the 3D in this movie was great.
Okay, let's go on to the movie itself. So, 2019 Aladdin is very much a faithful remaking of the animated Aladdin from Disney itself, where Aladdin finds a magic lamp and gets 3 wishes from a magical genie, and he wishes, well, you know the story, right?
Yeah. And well, this isn't actually Disney's original story. This story dates back to the 18th century.
I thought it was sooner than that. I thought it was like way back,
Yeah, I thought it was too. Well, see, the thing is, Aladdin is part of the Scheherazade, A Thousand Tales, which the A Thousand Tales itself is like super old. That's like from like, I don't know how old it is. I think it's like thousands of years old. But the story of Aladdin wasn't added into the Scheherazade Tales until like the 1700s.
Interesting. So anyway, the story is fairly common. Obviously the Aladdin animated movie was a huge hit. And, that's part of the reason why Krista here is going to be doing most of this review, because I feel like for me, I have a real strong connection to the original. I grew up on that. I remember in elementary school, me and my friend were like watching the things and like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And, is just like my jam, which jam being a fun word for this movie. And I love Robin Williams. I actually cried whenever he passed away, and
Same. His death kind of like took a toll on me. I definitely like had some like emotions about it.
so I feel like I'm a little bit more sensitive to this. And so, Krista, I'll let you continue on with this review. What else do you want to talk about?
Well, I agree with you that I do have like a lot of connection to the original animated movie. I think a lot of people in our generation did grow up on it and do have a lot of sentiment surrounding it, and I think that is part of why the remake is going to be successful, because it's going to like appeal to people who saw the original. I don't think there's going to be that many people watching the remake who haven't seen the original. So because of that, it did have to be really faithful to the original, because people know it so well, but it also did make some changes. And most of the changes I feel like were for the better. There were a couple that were weird, but I actually liked most of the changes that were made.
Some of the changes being some new songs and a dance number at the beginning, and then more in the middle and toward the end as well, I guess. Of course, the big change here is Genie being Will Smith. What do you think of Genie?
I actually liked Will Smith as the Genie. In previous podcasts, I had said it was a miscast, but I think I rescind that statement. I think I actually like Will Smith as the Genie.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think he makes it his own. It still has the same kind of flair as Robin Williams' Genie, but it still is his own interpretation of it as well. And I think it works well on screen.
Mm-hmm.
The new stuff they have in here is some backstory. Like this Sultan is actually given a lot more screenplay, and we get a new character here and there.
Yeah,
So,
there's more backstory to Jafar as well as to Jasmine. There's like more backstory between the relationship between Jasmine and her father, and also with her mother, which I kind of appreciated.
yeah, it's interesting. So what would you rate this?
I would give it an 8 out of 10. I really loved it. It was a great experience, but I don't know if any remake would ever live up to the animated.
So for me, I kind of feel like this is a 6 out of 10, just because I felt like some of the actors just kind of fell kind of flat. I don't know if it's just because they're not the same. It just didn't resonate as much as the original animated cartoon did to me, and everything seems fine. Everything is it's okay. It's fine acting, fine. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's all fine. Like the new stuff, it's fine. I don't know. It just didn't connect with me. So
I can see that. I didn't have a problem with an acting. I did have a problem with like some of the remakes of the songs, just because of the extent that Disney, I don't know why, because they did this in Beauty and the Beast too, but for some reason Disney is obsessed with auto-tuning everything, and it just, like, it's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I don't like it at all.
yeah, that's an issue. So I guess that's basically it for this spoiler-free review. Bye.
Bye.
All right, before this podcast ends, I want to give a thank you to my patrons. Right now, we have one patron, which is David from Spain, and I want to thank you for your financial support. All right, so that's going to be it for this podcast.
We now have a Patreon, and the link is in the description. Thanks for watching.
And we are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. They don't put it everywhere. Just look for us, 3D or 2D. And of course, review us on iTunes. And if you want to write us a letter, our email address is email3d or2d@gmail.com. So that's going to be it. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.